Hello and welcome to this video. This is lesson 2 of unit 7, solving rational equations. Let's get started. Our agenda for this lesson, we will cover the steps to solving rational equations, practice some examples, and then I'll leave y'all with the IXL assignment to do on your own. Our objective, scholars will be able to solve rational functions. And our big idea is rational functions. Our guiding question for this lesson is, how do we solve rational equations with variables in both the numerator and the denominator, as opposed to the last lesson where we just had variables in either the numerator or the denominator. Here we're going to solve with variables in both. Here are the steps we're going to use to solve these equations. Step 1, we're going to cross multiply. Step 2, we're going to distribute and simplify, so that could either be FOILing or just distributing one number. Step 3, we're going to combine like terms, and in step 4, we're going to solve for x, which may include having to use the quadratic formula. Alright, let's solve this first question. Step 1, cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply these two terms, and then I'm going to go ahead and multiply these two terms, and let's do that now. So negative 2 times p minus 3, that's going to equal 7 times p plus 6. Now we jump to step 2, distribute and simplify. So let's distribute here to both terms. That gets me negative 2p plus 6. And on the right, 7p plus 42. Now, step 3, combine like terms. Now I can't just directly combine because they're on opposite sides of the equation, so I've actually got to move them. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to move 2p over here, and I'm going to subtract 42. You could have moved 7p this way and 6 that way. It doesn't matter. 6 minus 42 is going to give me negative 36. And then 7p plus 2p is going to give me 9p. Divide both sides by 9, and I get p equals negative 4. Alright, on this example I've got a bit more complicated expressions, but it's the same process. Step 1, let's cross multiply. So I'm going to do n plus 9 times n plus 8, and that's going to equal n plus 2 times n plus 1. Alright, now we're actually going to FOIL. That's going to be my distribution. N times n is going to give me n squared. N times 8 is going to give me 8n. 9 times n is going to give me 9n. And then 9 times 8 is going to give me 72. Same thing on the right. First term is going to be n squared, then plus n, then plus 2n, then plus 2. Now let's simplify this. It gives me n squared plus 17n plus 72 equals n squared plus 3n plus 2. Alright, step 3, combine like terms. Now notice here I've actually got an n squared on both sides. This will only work if you have exactly the same. Now if I had a variable in front, a number in front, like a 2 here, I couldn't do this. But since I've got exactly the same thing, n squared, I can actually cancel them out. Okay? So I'm left with 17n plus 72 equals 3n plus 2. Now let's move 3n to the left, and let's move 72 to the right, and I get 14n equals negative 70. 14n equals negative 70. Divide by 14 on both sides, and I get n equals negative 5. Alright, this is our last example, and on this one we are going to have to solve a quadratic equation. So let's go ahead and do it. Cross multiply here. H times negative h minus 12 equals 8 times 4 is going to give me 32. Step 2, distribute. H times negative h is negative h squared. H times negative 12 is negative 12h, and that's going to equal 32. I'm going to go ahead and move these terms on the left to the right hand side because I want it to all be positive. So when I move it, I have to do the opposite, so I actually get positive h squared plus 12h, and then I still got a positive 32 over there. Now this is a quadratic equation, and we can solve it using the quadratic formula. So I'm going to let my A be 1, my B is going to be 12, and C is going to equal 32. So I'm going to get negative 12 plus or minus the square root of 12 squared minus 4 times 1 times 32, all this over 2 times 1. Simplify this out, you're going to get negative 4 and negative 8. So your answer here is going to be negative 4 and negative 8. Alright, that was it for this video. If you want more of a challenge, you feel like this lesson was too easy, check out the extension activity titled Continued Fractions. Here's the independent practice for y'all to do. I excel Algebra 2 in 7. Please be sure to send me an email or join me during my office hours on Zoom with any questions. Best of luck.